But now we have breaking news out of Washington. President Trump is suing to block the House Ways and Means Committee from getting access to his tax returns. NBC News Justice correspondent Pete Williams joins me now with more. Pete, great to see you. What's the story here? I mean, were we really expecting this request to actually go forward in a meaningful way? I'm not sure that I saw it happening or playing out that way.
So this is based on an interesting wrinkle of what's happened here. Remember, the House Ways and Means Committee asked the Treasury Department for Trump's taxes, saying that it wanted to make sure that the IRS was properly auditing the president's tax returns under the rules that the IRS has, especially after Michael Cohen testified that Trump was not always honest about how much he was earning or how much his assets were. And the Treasury Department said no, that you don't have a legitimate legislative reason for wanting these returns. And that is right now in court. Now, Donald Trump has come in with his own lawsuit because after Treasury said no to the House Ways and Means Committee, the New York State legislature passed a law authorizing the New York State Tax Commissioner to give Trump's state taxes, any president's state taxes, if the House Ways and Means Committee had already made a request for his federal taxes from the Treasury Department. So what Donald Trump has done is he is suing the House Ways and Means Committee, the New York State Attorney General, and the New York's Tax Commissioner. And he makes basically two claims. He says, first of all, if your goal is to see how the IRS is auditing his returns, it doesn't do you any good to see his state tax returns. So that's not a legitimate request. And secondly, they say this is clearly somebody trying to get at Donald Trump for political reasons. This is a state action going after Trump because they don't like his politics, and that violates the First Amendment. So this is a new wrinkle. It's a new lawsuit. It's different than the one that's already in court. This is Trump in his personal capacity, not his official capacity as president, but his personal capacity with his own lawyers suing the state of New York and the House Ways and Means Committee to block the state from giving the committee his state income tax returns.
Well, he might be president now, but this certainly is not out of character for the private citizen Trump that we knew and the lawsuits that he was willing to file before he was in public life. Pete Williams, thank you very much, sir. Really appreciate that.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.